Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Parents. In today's episode, don't want to discipline your child? Fine. Both of you can stay home while we go have fun. Mother likes to leave me outside of the house for no apparent reason. At this point I wouldn't be surprised if my entitled mom asked about activities on my wedding night. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Don't want to discipline your child? Fine. Both of you can stay home while we go have fun. This one's a sad story all around, but it primarily revolves around two kids with very sad stories. Worth noting, the people I was celebrating this Labor Day with have a very it-takes-a-village approach to child minding. An adult is left in charge of a little one, and if the little one and the adult part ways, the adult makes sure a different adult has charge of the kid. Leads to some interesting situations where a kid is MIA, but we've never actually lost track of one and have a 100% safety rate. Well, aside from trip and falls and scrapes, but that's just the price of doing business when you're little. The first kid is Max. He's 5 and was put in sole custody of his dad after his mom was arrested. He wears a diaper still due to the trauma he suffered, and his dad feels like he failed him and as a result seems to be incapable of disciplining the kid. It's been 2.5 years now and people watch Max like a hawk because he can't be trusted near animals or with other people's things. When caught he turns on the waterworks and his dad doesn't do anything. The second kid is Alicia, and she's 4 and was adopted by a pair of my friends. She's got a speech impediment that her bio parents tried to solve by beating it out of her. When we first met her, everyone was given firm instructions. No using the R word in her presence, at all. For any reason. Second rule? If she feels comfortable enough to speak to you, you listen. Period. Third rule? No surprise hugs, no fist bumps, no high fives. If she's having a good day, low fives are allowed. If she gets triggered, she just shuts down, doesn't cry, doesn't do anything. Doesn't respond to outside stimuli. She just goes away, and it is the saddest thing to see. Sweetest little kid though, her smile lights up the whole room when it comes out. On to the events. Alicia has just hit her Y-phase a few years late for obvious reasons, and she'd asked me why she gets shocked by doorknobs while running around in stocking feet. I happen to rather enjoy these questions, and I was in the middle of a talk with her about why that is. She was speaking when Max and his dad arrived. I was down on my haunches and listening very closely when Max runs up and just shoves Alicia to the ground and says, "Shut up, wetad. Unso p my iPad is broken, can you fix it?" brandishing a tablet at me. I won't lie to you and say it wasn't a struggle to keep my voice even, but I knew yelling would only make things worse for Alicia. Excuse you? I'm not fixing a thing until you apologize to Alicia and wait your turn. But unso p. My tab wet. Apologize and then wait your turn. No. Then stop calling me uncle and find someone else to fix it. Bullies don't get my help and they certainly don't get to call me uncle. Poor Alicia was just laying where she fell, not even crying. Hadn't sat up, just looked like a robot that had run out of batteries. I scooped her up and told Max, "You stay right here while I find Alicia's mom. This conversation isn't over." He just starts screaming, "No buoy. No buoy. No bully. No bully." I snuck inside the house with Alicia where it was quieter for a moment and said, "Alicia, I know you're scared right now, but I need to tell you a secret. Can you nod if you can hear me right now? This is very important." I got the tiniest little nod, and I told her, "Max has the exact same problem talking that you do, and I understand you much better. You can't tell anyone I told you that though, okay?" Bless her little heart, she actually whispered, "Really?" Of course. Would I lie to you? Tiny shake of the head. I tracked down her mom outside and gave her the Cliff Notes version of what went down. Mom looked like she wanted to rend Max limb from limb, but I told her the plan. She was appeased. They went someplace quiet so Alicia could come out of her shell, and I went back to where I'd left Max. Max was being held by his dad, and his dad was asking Max what had happened to his tablet, and he was just repeating no buoy. Apparently after I left Max he'd smashed his tablet on the ground, and his dad had no idea what happened. I raised my voice a little so people would pay attention and asked Max to repeat what he'd said to Alicia. He shook his head and started crying, still shouting no buoy and sobbing hysterically. When I relayed the exact events that happened, his dad had the grace to look ashamed. "Come on OP, you know what he went through. Can't we cut him a break? He doesn't know any better." This is the canned response anytime Max is caught doing something like kicking a dog or stealing a toy or phone to play with. I was done. Further discussion ensued that I won't bother relaying, but Max's dad refused to do anything to actually discipline his child, just like every other time Max acts out, but this time we were done. This is so far across the line from acceptable it boggles the imagination. We were planning on doing campfire s'mores after dinner, but I called an audible. New plan is putt-putt golf and then ice cream, and whoever does the best at putt-putt gets the biggest bestest ice cream the place has. Every single adult agreed Max and Max's dad shouldn't come with. They got to stay home and think about what they'd done. Miraculously her recorded scores for putt-putt were 18 hole-in-ones. And listening to her laugh while she tried to contend with an ice cream that was very nearly as big as she was made everyone's night. Max and his dad were gone by the time we got back. I hope his dad gets his act together. Small edit for clarification, I'm not actually related to anyone mentioned in the story below. There's a family with a large cabin on a lake who host cookouts and trips on the weekends for their friends. While we're there, all of the kids call all of the adults present uncle or auntie no matter the blood relation. That's just how they roll. Enabling Max's behavior as a child is helping no one. If Max's mom did damage, then he should be in therapy to try and repair the damage. As things stand, Max is just learning how to inflict damage on others to get what he wants. Not at all wrong. We've all tried different ways of talking to Max's dad about his approach and how it's doing more harm than good, no dice. We just invite him places less as a result. The best you can do is all you can do. He doesn't know any better. Of course he doesn't. He's 5. That's why you, the parent, teach him better. And if you refuse to do so, you have no right to complain when someone else does. OP, in case it's any help? My friend had a Max who was hell on toast, but friend let her walk all over everyone at home and abroad. Teachers and I, former teacher, all tried to get that kid into therapy and make friend start disciplining the kid. Finally, she and I were talking one day, and I said, you know, being a good roommate is a big part of happy relationships. Do you think kid will be able to even keep a college roommate past one semester? Friend just stared at me, suddenly appalled. Like a lot of soft-hearted people, friend has friendships going back decades, including her college roommate. I realized that it never once occurred to her that how she was raising her kid might get in the way of kid actually having the same deep friendships. Well, mom cracked down, therapy started, and kid is a freshman in college, with a great roommate who has signed on to share an apartment with kid this fall. Maybe this POV would work on Max's dad too? As the aunt of a kid that wasn't held accountable for his actions, this will absolutely end with little Max becoming an uncaring and violent to everyone around him, including his father. We were not allowed to discipline him in any way. Even just a strict conversation. My nephew has attacked me, my mother, and has threatened to do much more. He has destroyed countless things in my mother's house and is bordering on sociopathic. While he has apologized to us, it's only so he has a place to stay other than his mother or father's houses. However, I'm sure that as soon as we are no longer needed, he will go back to being an asshole. Poor Max. His dad is not setting him up for an easy life. In fact, he's setting him up from a lifetime of struggle, frustration, and self-defeating behavior that is going to be incredibly difficult to overcome as an adult. His guilt over Max's babyhood is going to turn into guilt for wasting Max's childhood, then more guilt for ruining his adulthood. Yeah. It's really sad. We were all super patient with him for the longest time, but bad things kept happening and nothing was being done to address it. You know there's a problem when a kid shows up and all the dogs nope out of the room. Mother likes to leave me outside of the house for no apparent reason. I want to start by saying that I don't live at my mother's. I rent an apartment and she moved in with me because she couldn't afford to live on her own. I'm financially independent and work full-time plus studying, and I try to never ask her for anything because she always makes a huge drama out of it. Today I had a really bad day and was really stressed out, decided to go for a walk, and just when I leave the apartment I realized I didn't have my keys. I call her and ask her if she is arriving soon so I can wait for her, and she tells me that it might be sometime. Note, when I was younger I used to forget my keys a lot and she would always come home the latest she could when any other day she would be early, and leave 14 to 16 years old me starved, wanting to pee and sitting by myself for hours because I didn't have any place to go. I know about this, but it was also years ago. I didn't think she would do that again. Well, she calls to tell me she has something important to do now, doesn't tell me what, and that she is going to be late. I text her, do whatever you feel like, because I couldn't believe she was doing this to me again at this age. And she called to yell at me that I was a brat and she was busy and her life doesn't revolve around me. It's been 3 hours, by this time any day she would be home and asleep already. She hates being alone at night, especially during the winter. It's freezing outside, I don't have my wallet with me and I don't understand what is this about. Edit, because some people seem to read it as if I keep forgetting my keys frequently. I don't. This used to happen to me when I was a teen, never after I turned 16. Never after I moved out alone or when she moved back with me. I'm talking more than 5 years. I don't have a problem with remembering my keys now. It happened today after many years. 1. Never forget your keys. 2. If she wants to be difficult, kick her out. It's your house, not hers. This. Grow a backbone and do it to her. When she's asleep, take her keys, hide them somewhere, and then go out and have fun. If she calls you out on it, tell her, well, why can't I do it? It's my house. She's living in your place for free and pulls this shit on you? Throw her ass out and go full no contact. Number 1, kick her out. Number 2, always have a spare key in a lockable box. See hardware store. She can play games all she likes, you know you didn't do anything wrong. Control. It's all about control. Kick her out as soon as you can and take back the control in your life. Yep. It's just about both feeling and asserting control. Unfortunately, the only solution is to remove yourself from a situation that gives them leverage over you in any way. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if my entitled mom asked about activities on my wedding night. A rant. My mom is so beyond entitled with my upcoming wedding. The entire planning process has been characterized by me and my fiancé stating what we want and my mom pushing back incessantly on every tiny detail. My shoes. Whether I wear a veil or not. How we list our wedding party and the made-up titles we give them. The giving away language for the bride. And many other things. It's my parents' daughter's wedding, not me and my fiancé's, and I'm over it. She blatantly told me my fiancé should have minimal involvement and it should be me and her. I'm so tired of being yelled at for the dumbest things. You must dictate the color suits for dads, you must wear your hair down, etc. She even goes behind our backs to plan things, and the level of guilt tripping and manipulation is next level. She truly believes she's entitled to a deep relationship and all of my inner world and relationships without having any awareness about how to build deep relationships. At this point, I wouldn't at all be surprised if she asked me the morning after my wedding about any activities we did or did not partake in, and she'd likely find a reason to be mad at me about it. She has no understanding or respect of boundaries, and I can't wait to move thousands of miles away from her in 2 weeks. I'm so angry that she's pushed so hard on this wedding and railroaded my wishes. I know she loves me in her way and wants to give me the best, but I'm sick and tired of that intention excusing her behavior. I'm just so over it. This will absolutely inform how we interact with her in the future. Change whatever you can behind her back. Block for a few weeks after the wedding. Elope and just show up for the reception? Yeah, I've had a year of using discernment about what battle is worth it and what's not. I've made my bed and I'm just looking at the next 7 weeks and just trying to get through it. I've learned a ton about myself and this toxic dynamic with my mom. Just needed to vent to strangers. 2 options. Elope how you want to and let her seethe. Let her know that while you appreciate her input, this is your wedding, not hers, and that she is not allowed to make any decisions or changes without your permission, and if she cannot follow that and respect your boundaries, as this is your wedding and not hers, then she cannot be involved in any planning, nor will she be invited. I've noticed family members, parents especially, go way too overboard trying to make someone else's wedding about themselves, or trying to take over and do it how they want instead of considering the wants of the people who are actually getting married. Drives me nuts. When my husband and I got married, we accepted help and some input from his parents, but for the most part my husband and I planned everything ourselves because it was our wedding and it went beautifully. Don't let her ruin this for you, because I promise you, if you're not able to get her to stop this behavior or get married how you want to, she is surely going to take what's supposed to be the happiest day of your life and ruin it. Contact all of your vendors and set up passwords so that your mom can't change anything. Elope. Let her blow a gasket. It's your wedding, your marriage, and your life. You sound set to just get through it at this point, so I offer no input there. But now you know to keep her on an information diet and to expect her to try to overrun you on the big things. Give her as little information as possible and tell her thanks for your opinion, but this is our decision, and end the discussion. You said you're moving thousands of miles away. Start thinking, how will we respond when she wants to visit, when she comments on our home, have a child? It's not too early to develop boundaries and consequences for when she breaks them, she will try. Start giving answers that provide no information. How was your wedding night? Fine. What did you do? Slept. If she pushes, flat out say I'm not talking about that with you. And drop it, walk away. Then when you're in your new home, you can hang up the phone when she won't stop when you've told her you're not going to talk about something with you. Yes, she's your mother, but you are now an adult. She isn't an authority over you now and has no say in your decisions. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.